Hey guys, it's Sarah King
and Dylan King, and we're here to share 5 simple steps that you can take to work less and make more.
Yes, work less, make more. This comes from our experience over the last year and a half, going from being completely broke to being super successful business owners with a multiple 6-figure business, to hitting burnout, completely restructuring our business, and now making more than ever while working less than part-time. So our journey has been absolutely crazy, and we're really, really passionate about getting this message out about helping others make more by doing less, because honestly, I know that there's a lot of hustlers in this group. I know that you might be working really hard, and that's awesome. Entrepreneurship takes a lot of hard work, but there are ways that you can do less and make more. And so we're really excited to share those with you guys today. Just a quick introduction. For those of you who have been following Simply Sarah King for a little while, you might not recognize this guy. Maybe you've seen him around a little bit, but the truth is that Dylan has been right by my side since the very beginning of the business. His face has not been on the business because when we started, he was in his corporate job and I was the one kind of being the face of the company and taking the calls, but his mind and his heart has been infused all throughout the brand. Seriously, he's the one who has held my hand through the whole process, and he's been really involved. And so it just made sense to have him be part of this training and kind of showing his face around here a little bit more, since these concepts and these 5 simple steps that we took and that we want to show you how to take are things that we've kind of both worked through together. Yeah, so we're going to jump right in. 5 simple steps, 5 simple things you can do, shifts that you can make so that you can begin making more money while working less.
So the first one that we want to share with you is less consumption and more creation. I think a lot of times in the online entrepreneur world, it's really hard to avoid distractions because of all the different people trying to put their voice out there. There's just so much noise, and honestly, I know that I fall into this category, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. It's hard. I mean, you want to learn more because that you feel like that will help you be a better business woman, businessman, a better entrepreneur, and you just feel like what's the harm in more personal development, because that can only help you in your business. But honestly, it can't take away from your business. So it can't. You have to continue to create, and you have to continue to push forward on things that will actually start making you money in your business.
Yes, absolutely. Entrepreneurs are creatives, and it's our job to be putting things out there for other people to consume. And as important it is for you to grow and invest in your own personal development, when you have a certain amount of time to work and then you get caught up scrolling through Facebook, reading random articles by successful entrepreneurs, and a lot of these articles contradict each other too, because everyone has their own path to success, it can be really sabotaging. And I see so many people who are ready, they have the tools, but they're using learning and consumption almost as a form of procrastination, because it's safer just to consume. It's safer just to keep learning and not to be the one creating and putting yourself out there. It's hard to shift from consumer to creator. But we want to encourage you to keep those things in balance and really check yourself and see how much time are you spending consuming versus creating.
Honestly, if you say, oh, I have 4 hours today to work, how many minutes, how many hours do you spend on personal development? I mean, it's super easy. You're just scrolling through your news feed, or you're looking at some articles online, and you just, before you know it, you spent 30 minutes or an hour, and you had these things on your task list to do. They're not getting done, so it's impacting your business.
Yeah. So less consumption, more creation. That's number 1. Number 2 is less clutter and more focus. This is my passion because I'm all about simplicity. I mean, Simply Sarah King is the name of the brand. And our lives are just so... It's just so easy for our lives to be cluttered because there's clutter in our homes. There is clutter in our minds. We clutter up our schedules with, activity after activity. We clutter up our goals, rather than having one core thing that we're working towards. We have, 10, 20 goals that we're keeping in the back of our mind. And honestly, it can get so cluttered in our minds, in our hearts, and in our space. And it's so important for us to really cut the clutter and start focusing. And so one thing that is kind of the enemy of clutter. You think that it's a good thing, but it really actually just infuses your life with more clutter and justifies it, is organization, right?
Yeah.
So I am like totally guilty. I'm like that girl who in high school had like in college had like a bunch of colorful Sharpie markers and lots of sticky notes, and I was like organization queen, and I color coded everything, and it made it feel like, wow, I'm like super organized, but I was still constantly going, and there was no white space. And so I want to encourage you, like, rather than organizing your house and organizing your schedule and organizing yourself and rewriting your goals on a pretty colored list, just cut some stuff out, you know?
Yeah, like don't color code, don't like have 20 things, then color code them.
Like these long to-do lists, like they are your enemy because they're setting yourself up to be like, just totally going into overwhelm and just not actually getting much done. So we try to set, 2 to 3 goals a day, like 2 to 3 things that we're trying to get done.
Sometimes just one.
Today, this video was like basically it. It's like really not taking that long, but you'd be surprised when there's all these other little things. You do all the little things, but you don't do the one thing that you need to do to move your business forward. So go through your house and get rid of your kids' toys that they don't play with. Get rid of, why do you have 3 ladles? I don't know. Get rid of the stuff you're not using, and then go through your goals and set one core goal, both for your life and then, a couple core goals for your day, and just try to cut the clutter, eliminate activities that you're not excited about doing. And honestly, even people can clutter up your lives. People are the most important thing of all. But if there are people that you're around that are draining your energy and who aren't making you better, who are exhausting you, it's time to cut that stuff out so you can get focused and be serious and move forward.
Yeah, and when we started the business, and even to this point, like we set goals, sure, we set monthly goals and everything like that. But for the first half of the business, we had one core goal, and it was to get me home, to make enough money in Sarah's business to like get me home, and then that we can work together.
Get him home from his corporate job.
From my corporate job.
Yeah.
Replace my salary.
Yeah.
And then once we did that, the next goal was to create passive income that could support us without either of us working full-time in the business. And so that was the next goal. And we just went one goal at a time until we achieved it.
Yeah. So just think through, like, where's the clutter? Like, in your mind, like, what are you thinking about? And is it helping you move forward? What can you cut? And how can you simplify things more?
Okay, so we talked about less consumption and more creation. We talked about less clutter and more focus. And the next one is less guessing and more numbers.
This guy's, like, so good at this.
Yeah. So I guess, like, with online businesses today, it's super hard to understand your numbers. And even if you watch shows, like we watch entrepreneur shows like Shark Tank or The Profit or things like that. And like one of the main things that we see is that people just don't know their numbers, don't understand their numbers. And that is one of the most important things you can do for your business. Obviously, you want to put your whole heart and soul into the work that you do. And that's what's going to ultimately like give you that success. But you want to work smarter. You don't want to work harder. You want to work harder, but you want to work smarter first. And you want to know your numbers.
We want to make this like a winnable game for you. When we actually break down our business model and show our clients how it works behind the scenes, there's no mystery. There's no like secret. It literally is just simple math. Like, this is how much we want to make. Then this is how much our clients, we're charging our clients. And then this is how many clients we need to make, what we want to make. And then this is our client acquisition costs, through Facebook ads and other marketing strategies. And then boom, we know we need to invest this much into marketing to kind of get these amount of clients to kind of reach this financial goal. Everything is so breakdownable, and so mathematical. And when when you're in this space of like needing to pay rent and needing to pay off your credit cards and like trying to get clients, it just becomes a frenzy, and there's no clear focus. We want to make this a winnable game for you. So many times we talk to people and it just isn't adding up. They only have the capacity to serve 5 clients with their busy schedule, and they're charging $500.
Yeah.
And then they have a financial goal of $10K a month, and it's like...
And then they get stressed out when they don't make it.
And they're like, why isn't this working? Well, it's not adding up.
It doesn't work, yeah.
So we just want to encourage you guys to really break down and look at your numbers. If you don't know how to do this, this is something that you would maybe want support from someone else who knows how to do this. But truthfully, just looking at your expenses, looking at how much you're actually spending each month, tracking that, paying attention to that number, and then looking at your business and making sure that this is a winnable game for you. If you're fully booked with clients, we want you to feel successful. We don't want you to feel like you've got to take on 5 more because, you just aren't being able to make the bills.
Yeah, and just remember that this is a business, so you have to treat it like a business, and the numbers are a huge, they should tell you what your decisions are in your business.
Yeah.
Just by looking at your numbers.
Absolutely. Yes. So, less consumption, more creation, less clutter, more focus, less guessing, more numbers. We've got 2 more things for you. Number 4 is less manual touches and more delegation. You have to look at our notes here real quick. Less manual touches and more delegation.
So this is basically the epitome of working less and making more. Where can you cut your the time that you spend on certain business processes? You want to make sure that you aren't spending all of your time and energy on things that are just kind of monotonous that anyone could do if you train them. If it takes 10 minutes, but you don't have to do it, don't spend those 10 minutes doing it.
Your job is to be the creative entrepreneur. We want you to be free to create and have the space to, really serve people with your whole heart. We don't want you to have to be the technician. We don't want you having to be the manager. We don't want you having to, maybe at the beginning when you're first starting up, of course, there's going to be times where, I cried trying to set up, my email system. It was just, of course that's going to be a season for you. But as you're looking to make more and scale by doing less, there is a machine or a human that can do 90% of what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And if you just aren't in the place in your business right now to be paying, somebody $50, $100 an hour to do some of this work, look at what you're doing at home, cleaning, cooking, even a couple hours with your kids a week. Those are things that you can outsource that you can actually have done for a relatively low price, lower than it would cost to kind of hire somebody for a business job, so that you can use your time more efficiently. And maybe you're thinking, oh, I can't afford someone to clean my house. That would be great. If I could afford that, that'd be great. And I remember, our motto was kind of before you feel ready, do it. But the time and space that I had after hiring someone to clean my house was nuts. And I really shouldn't have been spending that time cleaning my house when I could be spending that time on the phone with people, making money and way more than I was spending on my house cleaner.
Yeah. So, so far we've talked about less consumption and more creation, less clutter and more focus, less guessing and more numbers, less manual touches and more delegation, and the last one we want to talk to you about is less scarcity and more abundance.
This is I definitely would say the most important one. And this applies whether you are brand new in business. So if you've been zoning out for this video, come back because this part's really important. So I don't know, I zone out sometimes during videos that are longer than 5 minutes. So this one is so important whether you're starting, you're brand new in business, or you're making 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month. This is still an important thing for you to be paying attention to. What I think it all boils down to is that your mindset around money, whether you have a little bit of money or a lot of money, is not going to change. So I remember feeling I kind of grew up in a family where we didn't have a lot of money, and I've always struggled with this scarcity mindset, concern that there wasn't enough. And because of that, even in my business when we began earning significant amounts of income, I was still so focused on the expenses. We got to pay taxes, we got to hire a team, we got to do this and that. And the anxiety around money didn't go away. Even though I have a whole year's worth of money coming to me, I still felt the pressure and the stress of that. And so when you make more money, if you haven't fixed your money mindset, more money is just going to inflate your problem because you're dealing with more of what stresses you out rather than making your problems go away. So that's why this is so important to us.
Yeah, for sure. And you just have to think of money as a tool. It really helps to think of it as money comes in and money goes out. And of that money. Like some of it might go to your personal stuff, some of it might go to your business stuff, but don't think of it as your money. You know, you work really hard and maybe you like have like a decent income, but don't think of it as your money. Like be willing to let some of it go to work for you. And this is what we were talking about earlier, having your money work for you, even in really small ways, like hiring out some of the work that needs to be done, for example. One of the things that in our business that we've not struggled with, but we had to go through this specifically and correct our mindset. There was 2 different times. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Just before we get into that, just to kind of like make sure you understand what's happening, like, because this is just so important. So I just feel like we just have to keep kind of repeating it. It's just remembering like what you said, like you're almost like a distribution center. And so when the money comes in and you want to hang on to it because you're afraid to let it go, you keep your hands closed and you can't receive anymore, right? Because your hands are like clenched tight over the money, so you can't like get any more. And then the other thing with that is like you can't enjoy money if you want to hang on to it, because you can't even go on a vacation and enjoy it because you're going to be stressing out about how much it costs. So if your hands are open and you realize that you're just a distribution center and you distribute to your family and you also distribute to the community and then you distribute back to your business, just keeping those hands open and trusting that there's always going to be more coming and having that abundance, even when things are freakishly tight, that is going to be the difference between someone who kind of stays stagnant and then somebody who's able to fly to the next level because they always believe that more is coming.
And babe, I really liked what you said about trusting. Like that's like the biggest thing. It's like you have to just trust. You just have to understand that some of it's out of your control, that if you like have money now, it doesn't guarantee that you'll have money in the future. If you don't have money now, it doesn't guarantee that you won't have money in the future. It's just a matter of trusting and knowing that tomorrow will take care of itself. And for right now, you are where you are.
Yeah. So yeah, there are 2 specific examples that you were about to share that I cut you off because I wanted to make sure we just hit that point hard. But there's 2 specific examples for us, and one was when we were new, and one was when we were about to soar to the next level. And so we'll just give you a couple examples about this just so you can understand how this actually practically applied to us.
Yeah.
Because changing your mindset around money doesn't really sound like something that's going to actually make things better, but it's changed everything.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them about the first time?
Why don't you do the first one?
Okay. The first time was when we invested over $15,000 for me to work one-on-one with a business coach. So literally at that point,
in the very, very beginning,
I was a stay-at-home mom with a 1-year-old and I was pregnant. And he was in a corporate job where he was not like making basically anything. And we were in piles of student loan debt and credit card debt. And I had promised him, I remember that first goal I made was to bring him home from his corporate job, replace his corporate salary. I had no idea how to make it happen, but I knew that hiring a coach would help me get there. And so we believed, we trusted that money would come back to us, and we put ourselves out there and we just invested that money. And we didn't have it. We sold furniture, we borrowed money, and we actually took out another credit card and went deeper into credit card debt. And we're like super against credit card debt. But that was what we needed to do to get our business to the next level.
And we had no guarantee that it would come back to us.
Yeah, no. Coaches don't give you a guarantee. They can't. Yeah. And so that was really, really scary. But we saw our business as a legit business. You know, you're willing to spend money on university. You're willing to spend money on, getting your master's, going back to school. If it was a brick and mortar business, you would pay for, a building, you'd pay for employees, like all materials, all that kind of stuff. And so we were like, you know what, we're going to actually treat this like a real business, believe that the money's going to come back, have this abundance mindset, and just take this leap forward. And if we hadn't done that, I think we still would have gotten to where we are now.
Eventually.
But it would have taken us years. We were able to condense our timeline, and I brought him home from his corporate job
6 months after.
Yeah, 6 months after starting the business. And I didn't just barely squeaking bring him home. Like, I was making...
No, she was making like 10 times what I was making a month. She was making.
And I was a mad woman to get there. And this is the part 2. That was the first risk, Even as a newbie, even as a startup, even before the numbers make sense, you have to just take a leap and invest. But then this is the second time, right? So
just to back up, we were talking about making simple goals, maybe just one goal that you're focused on. And that was what we did. We invested $15K to start the business, and that was to get me home, and that was like our big goal. After that happened, we had to set a new goal. So the new goal that we decided on was that we would create some kind of passive stream of income that would be able to support our family, our personal.
Because he was home from corporate, but I was on the brink. Like, I had basically hit burnout. I had a newborn baby, and then our 1-year-old, and it was like I was working really hard, and it was just not feeling free. And
I hated seeing you like that too.
Yeah. So he was like, you retired me, and now I'm going to retire you by helping you transition your business to be completely passive.
So we created funnels, and we made a program, Momentum, and we took a big leap. We invested a lot of money in Facebook ads without any guarantee that it would work.
And now we're talking like we had been making a lot of money. We were starting to get comfortable, starting to feel like, wow, things aren't actually tight right now.
Yeah.
But what we did was we had money that we had been setting aside all throughout the year for taxes, and our taxes were about to come due. And we decided to take a giant leap of faith and take all the money that we had saved for taxes and put it back into Facebook ads. And we did the math out, and it made sense. But do you know how scary that is? Because there's technically no guarantee, and we didn't want to be, coming up the next month and having a multiple 5-figure bill coming our way that we couldn't afford. So
it doesn't just happen overnight. It's not like you put in all that money and then, oh wow, like it came back to us within 2 weeks. It happened over the course of a month, 2 months, and it was like, oh my gosh, like. Lots of anxiety, lots of stress around that decision, but having that abundance mindset helped us, and now look where we are. Like, we have a monthly income that supports us passively.
So whether you're just starting or you are far along in your business, having this abundance mindset and knowing that there's always enough is going to make a huge difference for you in your business.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to run through them real
quick?
Let's
just kind of review the 5 points one more time just so you have all of them. Number 1, less consumption, more creation. And when you listen through these, just really, test yourself. I think it's really easy to hear things and be like, okay, and move on. But I really want you to ask yourself, like, which of these things, what area can I actually grow in? What takeaways, like what actionable steps can I take away from this? Because when you take action, right now you're consuming, but when you actually take this information and go create a new life for yourself, that's what we want for you. We don't want this just to be another training you just listen to.
Yeah.
So less consumption, more creation. Less clutter, more focus. Less guessing, more numbers. Less manual touches and more delegation. Less scarcity and more abundance.
Yeah. And with that, we just wanted to update you guys on what we're doing.
Yeah. So as you know, I was basically at the brink of burnout. I was really exhausted, and Dylan helped us transition the entire business to completely passive. So we've actually had 6 months off. We have been working
since January.
Yeah, we cut our work weeks down to 20 hours and then down to 10, and then we were literally working maybe an hour a day. That's how well the system works, and we want to give you the system. Of course, we want to support you in helping you create that. But since we had so much more available time, we realized...
And energy, too.
Yeah, so much more energy. We realized I kind of missed serving clients in a personal way. And so for the first time in... year, we are opening up opening up private coaching spots where you'll actually have the opportunity to work directly with me and Dylan. So we will have weekly calls with you, you'll have email support, and during that time we'll be like your family. So we're filling spots now, and people are always throwing out urgency factors like you have to buy now. But I'm going to tell you that this really is a one-time opportunity, because I am about to pop out a baby here in September, number 3. So we are taking a few clients on now, but we're not going to be doing it again for a long time. And this is really the only time that you have, because we have just enough time to coach you for 3 months before the baby's born. So this is a real urgency factor. Price is going up. No, none of that. It's just literally I'm going to have a baby. So now or never. We're so excited for the opportunity to serve you. We've actually been interviewing lots of different applicants, and we've been thrilled with the people who have applied so far. But we wanted to give you the chance to apply as well. If it's something that you're feeling called to, and you know that you want that personal support from someone who's been there and walked through it,
Yeah, we feel like we can make an impact in people's lives, and we really want to be able to do that for people. And we feel like the best possible way to do that, instead of making a program and selling it to 200 people and having them kind of consume the information that we put out there,
I mean, that's
is
still super important because it's cheaper,
right.
it's more accessible.
Right. We can reach more people, but we're doing that now. We're doing that passively, and we want to be there for individuals, for specific people that are willing to take risks and invest in their business and take it to the next level and create that life that they're dreaming of. We want to help them do that.
Yeah, because we realize it's possible. Like, we literally have learned over the last 2 years that anything is possible. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we are really young. We don't talk about it a lot because for some reason, people don't think you're as legit or something, but we're 24 and 25, and we have figured it out. We are, hitting financial goals, not needing to work. We're literally home. We have a 1-year-old and 2-year-old girl, and then this one's coming, and we're home with our little daughters all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, right now, one's upstairs napping, and like that's what our life is. It's incredible, and we want to give you that opportunity too. This program is not a good fit for everyone. This is for people who are willing to work through the money mindset and trust that the money's going to come back, for people who are willing to take a risk. Obviously, this is a big investment, but it's an investment that will change your life.
Yeah.
And
we've opened up a handful of spots.
Yeah, yep. So we're really excited to meet you. If you are feeling led, just go ahead and hit apply below this video, and we will personally review your application and get in touch.
If it's a good fit, then we'll schedule a call and we'll talk it out.
Yeah, can't wait to get to know you. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.